So we'll start our online reading session of the book, The Modern Mission of Srila Prabhupada. So before starting to read, we will chant a few prayers and then we'll start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunimati Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Gopam Karti Pachalam Galam Yathare Padamam Mande Shri Gurudev Dharam Paramananda Mabha Shri Chaitanya Gisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmi Yasya Svakshati Yasya Aste Hridaya Samrita Simam Yasya Deve Parabhakti Yatha Deve Tatha Gurum Tasve Pravishmachana Prasuttam Sanjeev Nyam Chahasta Charana Shravanatvaradin Prananamo Shaya Vijaguru Haripanya Krishna Chitto Vichinto Samsara Kumpara Purvajana Sukapto Majin Samsavishwa Bhujayat Vikaso. Okay. Kartikeya Prabhu, can you please start reading?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, godly natural life से है ऊपर से?
नहीं, godly natural life versus industrial health. Please don't read the references and quotes like that. Just you can continuously read.
Okay. Godly natural life versus industrial health. Industry has simply created godlessness. Factory means ruination, factory means destruction, and agriculture means construction. Although Srila Prabhupada's mission was to lead the people of this world back to the spiritual world, a major part of his vision was this worldly social reform based on a return to a land based economy interwoven with the Ishavasya principle. This was in pursuance of Shukdev Goswami's advice. The enlightened person should endeavor only for the minimum necessities of life. He should be intelligently fixed and never endeavor for unwanted things, being competent to perceive practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing.
Prabhu, little slowly you can read. Little slowly. You are little bit fast. There are other
Okay,
devotees
Prabhuji.
also hearing. We are not just reading for ourselves, we are reading for others. So just little slowly. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Alone in remote, rustic Vrindavan in 1962, when the entire world, especially India, was agog with the prospect of material development, Srila Prabhupada scorched the supposed need of an artificial luxurious life dependent on tools and machines when man's necessities and even luxuries can be obtained sufficiently without modern industrial enterprise. If there is enough milk, enough grain, enough fruit, enough cotton, enough silk, and enough jewels, then why do people need economic development in the shape of tools and machines? Can tools and machines supply vigor and vitality to men and animals? Can machinery produce grain, fruit, and milk, or jewels and silk? Are jewels and silk, along with varieties of foodstuffs prepared with ghee, grain, milk, and fruits, not sufficient for a man's pure, luxurious, and healthy life? Then, what is the need of an artificial luxurious life of cinemas, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels? The human
Okay.
necessities of
Excuse
life.
me. 1 second.
Yeah.
Can anybody know where is this reference from without seeing the reference? Can anybody tell where is this from?
I
This
think
whole thing,
Prabhuji,
whatever talk.
first canto, maybe, not sure.
Yeah, it is from the Kamam Vavarshya Parjanya verse. I think so. Yes, it is first canto 10th chapter. Kamam Vavarshya Parjanya Sarva Kama Dukhamahi. This is So Yudhishthir Maharaj, this one. Mm. So the thing is, see how Prabhupada is so uh, 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 static and very clear in his terms. Actually, I remember reading in Prabhupada's letter to Jawaharlal Nehru. He also wrote the same things to Jawaharlal Nehru also. Okay, continue, Prabhuji.
The human necessities of life are fully supplied by the Lord in the shape of food, grains, milk, fruit, wood, stone, sugar, silk, jewels, cotton, salt, water, vegetables, etc., in sufficient quantity to feed and care for the human race of the world as well as the living beings on each and every planet within the universe. The supply source is complete, and only a little energy by the human being is required to get his necessities into the proper channel. There is no need of machines and tools or huge steel plants for artificially creating comforts of life. Life is never made comfortable by artificial needs, but by plain living and high thinking.
Yeah, yeah. Yesterday, when I was on book distribution, I met one guy, an Indian guy. I told him, Hare Krishna, do you have this book, Bhagavad Gita? So why don't you take? He said, okay. Then I asked people, we don't sell them. People help us with a kind donation. You can help us with a kind donation. Okay, I myself, I am God. I am myself Bhagwan. He said, I am myself Bhagwan. Then why I have to give another Bhagwan money? How you are Bhagwan? You are going to die some other day. I said, no, everybody is going to die. See, how you are Bhagwan? You are working so hard. I said, no, no, no. Everybody all over the world, people are working for me. See, I have got, he showed me his car. It is around $150,000. This Corvette, big sports car for like Ferrari. It is like that, $150,000. A big, huge car it is. He showed me. Everybody all over the world is working for him, it seems. And he is came to Patel Brothers to purchase food for his wife, children, everybody. And I was thinking, you are working hard for your wife, children. Why don't you understand that? No, it is. This is all. This is a part of Bhagwan's Leela. He said. So can you imagine? People are all thinking like that. Yes, continue.
According to Srila Prabhupada's vision, the environment in industrial cities crushes spiritual propensities. This town life, industrial life, factory life is asuric life. It is killing human ambition, it is killing civilization. He detected that the present trajectory of humankind was planned by demons and must lead to widespread distress and ultimately annihilation. Demons are very much interested in advancing a plan by which people will labor hard like cats, dogs, and hogs. But Krishna's devotees want to teach Krishna consciousness so that people will be satisfied with plain living and Krishna conscious advancement. Although demons have created many plans for industry and hard labor so that people will work day and night like animals, this is not the purpose of civilization. Such endeavors are jagato ahita. That is, they are meant for the misfortune of the people in general. Shayaya. Such activities lead to annihilation. One should not endeavor for ugra karma or unnecessary work for sense gratification.
So
Even
that
before
is
his hmm,
that word is kshayaya, kshayaya, kshaya.
Shayaya.
No, 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 not kshayaya. Ksha. It is ka और ksha दोनों मिला के पढ़ना है. Ksha,
Hmm,
kshayaya.
Shayaya.
हाँ, क्षयाया,
Hmm,
क्षयाया. सर, क्षय क्षय होता है ना. क्षय मतलब उसका पतन होना. हाँ, क्षय इसका
hmm,
जैसे
hmm,
होता है. ये दैट्स व्हाट इज कॉल्ड क्षयाया. हम्म,
hmm.
yeah.
जी प्रभु.
और एक रोग का नाम ही क्षय है. क्या वो कौन सा है? व्हाट इज दैट? व्हाट इज दैट? टीबी इज कॉल्ड क्षय. व्हाट इज दैट? टीबी,
हाँ
व्हाट इट इज
टीबी.
कॉल्ड?
या आई थिंक हाँ टीबी शायद. क्षय
टीबी को
रोग.
टीबी को ट्यूबरकुलोसिस को हिंदी में क्षय बोलते हैं ना.
हाँ जी हाँ जी.
Ah, yes. People, you can read little slowly because you're, when you're starting it is slow, but you're going little bit fast. Tuck, tuck, tuck. I can understand you are good in reading, but other devotees cannot catch up with you. So I can catch up, but there are devotees who want to slowly read.
ओके प्रभु जी. Even before his arrival in the industrialized West and when India was still largely unindustrialized, Srila Prabhupada expounded on the evils of terrible industrial enterprises and the natural godly alternative. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general. Although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation, the natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme, and as He desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the need of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river water fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. For a human being, agricultural produce, fruits, and milk are sufficient and compatible foodstuffs. The human society should give more attention to animal protection. Sorry. The productive energy of the laborer is misused when he is occupied by industrial enterprises. Industry of various types cannot produce the essential needs of man, namely rice, wheat, grains, milk, fruits, and vegetables. The production of machines and machine tools increases the artificial living fashion of a class of vested interests and keeps thousands of men in starvation and unrest. This should not be the standard of civilization.
One second.
Notwithstanding,
1 second, Rose. See this. Actually, we are reading these purports since 60 years, 70 years of ISKCON, Krishna consciousness. But no leaders. I have never seen any leader, famous leaders on YouTube or anywhere, telling them people to stop going to these industries and producing all this. Why don't you produce grains? Why don't you produce vegetables for your house? Why are you working so hard in the industries? They don't say all these things. See, minerals are produced in the hills and jewels in the ocean. If human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, then why should it hanker for terrible industrial enterprise at the cost of labor of some unfortunate men? Huh? We have big people as life members, vice presidents. You can see some temples. I don't want to mention their temples. They have a big industrial guy as a person who is a vice president of one temple. They have a big donor of that. They never will tell that particular donor to close down your industrial, whatever you have, produce food, and then give an opportunity for producing a lot of natural vegetables and fruits. I don't know who. No, we are not. Are we preaching? Is anybody preaching like this? If human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, and for our midday meals program, for our temples, for our everything, we are purchasing grains since 50 years, 60 years. We are not producing our own grains. We don't have our producing our own water. Water also we are purchasing. Milk also we are purchasing.
Uh, we may say we have goshalas here and there, but that goshalas, that is not sufficient. Uh, in Gaur Purnima, in Mayapur, at least I know, there are more than 50 to 60,000 rasgullas they make and they give everybody. Everybody is enjoying the feasts, the GBC meetings, the every day there is free prasadam. There is so much of rasgullas being served in Gada Bhavan. What is that? I don't know. Sulabh kitchen, Brahmachari kitchen. There are two other Gita Bhavan kitchen. There are Vamshi Bhavan kitchen. There are these many every place. There's so many, more than 20 to 30,000 people, 50,000 people are being served rasgullas. And do you think that it is coming from 10,000, 10 lakh liters of milk that is being broken very nicely and given to all these people? How it is coming? It's a big question mark. How they are producing? Huh? Are we having sufficient milk? So it's on our us that we first of all are not obedient to the laws of God. How we can give an example to people? Huh? At least so many people are, giving an example, getting out of the this industrial civilization and going to the land and then doing something. We are not doing anything. Uh, we need a leader who can actually, not just words, these can be made into practicalization, not just producing some eco village and then producing something, having some cows, not like that. In a very industrial way, in a very, like, bombastic way, in a very big way, not just sitting and giving lectures on the Vyasasan. Actually, we should produce a lot of agriculture produce so that it will at least be sufficient for our devotees in future. But that is never being done, and neither I am seeing anybody is doing it. If anybody is doing it, we can let us know. Very few people here and there, they dedicating their life for producing uh, grains. And there is a guy, there is a guy in Tamil Nadu. He is having a big solitude farm, big acres. He is from Arabindo society. He got interested. He came to India. He settled in near Pondicherry somewhere in Tamil Nadu, and he is producing permaculture, agriculture in a very big way. uh, so we are not doing anything in that way. We are lagging behind. What do you think, devotees? Am I speaking right, or we are just reading it very nicely? All these things, but these all these depend on the mercy. We need what is obedience, and we are reading it. But no way we are telling devotees to not to work. We are helping you. This is the land you produce here. This is the land you produce. We should have purchased millions and millions of hectares of land and given to our devotees to produce their own vegetables and grains, so that we need not depend on Food Corporation of India, FCI. We need not depend on vegetables. The prices are increasing like anything. Devotees are working hard in the cities to purchase a kilo rice, to purchase grains, to purchase vegetables in the city is so difficult. Even you can't get produce in the villages. What to speak of that? Uh, no devotee, no lecture. They're big bombastic lectures of Bhagavatam classes and all, but nobody is speaking about this. This is from Bhagavatam purports. Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhu, continue to read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, थोड़ा और आगे था. We have read this.
Yes.
Notwithstanding America being the paragon of material advancement, Srila Prabhupada maintained that actually there is no material advancement in the USA and explained why, comparing it with Vedic civilization.
Mm.
Material advancement means there is ample opportunity for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Superficially, it appears that in the USA there is sufficient provision of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, but actually nobody is safe, even in his good apartment. I have got practical experience in New York. Several times my typewriter and tape recorders were stolen, and the police could not take any action. There are many persons in the Bowery with no shelter to live. So, if a certain fraction of the people are supposed to be very materially happy at the cost of others, that is not material advancement. Had it been so, then why there are so many persons confused and frustrated? So actually there is no material advancement here. Here I am seeing practically that Gaur Sundar, such a nice, intelligent and qualified boy, has to work hard 12 hours simply for his subsistence. I think there are many instances like that, so this is not material advancement. You can call it capitalist advancement, and the reaction for such advancement is communism. Such a movement is simply suppressed in your country, but actually the reaction is this. So the Western type of civilization, industrialism and capitalism is no material advancement. It is material exploitation. When one gets the bare necessities of life, namely peaceful home, sumptuous eating, and necessary sex life, and the feeling of security, then it is called material advancement. In the absence of such four preliminary necessities of life, it is not at all material advancement. Just try to understand. According to Vedic civilization, a man is supposed to be rich when he has got sufficient grains and cows. Here we have neither sufficient grains nor cows, but you have got sufficient quantity of papers only, falsely thinking that is money. When there is some catastrophe, this bunch of papers will neither supply milk or grain. They will be only seen and the man will starve. Contrasting the overall ethos
One
of the
second, one second. Recently, I don't know, somebody has seen on the social media, if they are following very greatly, then you can see in Cuba, in Cuba, the notes were just thrown in they bought in the big, I don't know, somebody has seen? Anybody has seen? Venezuela. There is a country called Venezuela. And in Cuba, the notes were thrown in the garbage. Anybody has seen?
Yes, yes. Because of the
Mm.
outing of the recent president, because the US
Yes. And
captured the
there is
president. Yeah, yeah.
there is one
It's
more country. Even in India, I will tell you what had happened. India, when this demonetization happened, the 500 notes and the 1,000 rupee notes were actually stopped. In Pakistan, they found these 500 rupee notes by the children. There is a video which came. That the 500 rupee notes, the big bundles. The people were they were showing this. Did anybody see that video? No, nobody has seen. You can type it out. 500 rupee notes, Indian rupee notes in Pakistan. So their bundles and bundles, they were thrown in the in the these are taken by the garbage pickers. These in Pakistan. In Pakistan, 500 Indian rupee notes. And what to speak of that? And one more thing, as Prabhupada is writing, it is about United States here. The whole thing is actually true. uh, this whole thing about what Prabhupada has given, the whole, Prabhupada ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि छप्पर फाड़ के, मतलब यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स को रिप करके रख दिया है यहाँ पे. So United States is actually, they say that it's very advanced, this that, to the whole world. They show in the social media. Even China is being exhibited as if it is a very advanced country. But no, actually there's so many homeless people than in India. There are more homeless people even in New York. In New York City alone, there are so many homeless people. So many people who don't have a proper home, because it is very difficult to own a home in United States. In particularly in New York, it is very difficult to get a house. A house, what is that? A 10 by 10 house is more than $3,000 in New York. $3,000. Can you imagine? You can't live. I am in a room of 10 by 10. This is more than 4,000, 3,000, $4,000. In Atlanta, at least it will be 1,500 to $2,000. Huh? So it is so costly, and the people cannot have food. People cannot have a good food. It's all chemically modified food. It's very difficult. And the crime rate is very. Actually, the scams are everywhere. There is a scam in the traffic. There are scams in the money. People are having so many notes. It's all virtual money. Can you imagine? Now, here Prabhupada is writing one thing about money. Yes, yes. When there is a catastrophe, there's bunch of papers we need. Now, what is the situation? Everybody is having the virtual money. It's there in the computer. somewhere you have in your card, but actually you are very poor. People don't understand that. The life members and people who give big donations are being adored, but they're never being told that you are a thief. And one more thing, and second thing is that you don't have money, you are actually poor. You don't have milk, you don't have grains. Gavya Dhanavan and Dhanya Dhanavan. Everybody is like virtually Dhanavan. Virtually means they think that this building, this one belongs to me just in papers, but they don't have grains, they don't have cows. Cows are getting killed. Actually, I was thinking many times, if I would have been a billionaire, I would have bought all the cows in every district and bought and purchased a big land and taken all the cows at one place, and we would have grazed them. Of course, if we would have been a billionaire, never we would have done that. That is another thing. But the point is that these billionaires could do that, but nobody does that. Why? Because their foreign exchange will reduce. They don't want to do that. So this is a whole problem actually. We are not able to understand that. When will ISKCON devotees understand and then produce sufficient grains, at least for their devotees, at least for the brahmacharis, at least for the deities, at least for the deities, they should do it. Prabhupada wanted every temple should have a farm attached to it so that the deities will get as pure grains, pure milk, pure water. But very few temples are having. Most of the temples are running after people, running after. अरे congregation को खाना नहीं है. They want donations more and more and more and more. Even in the temples, they are not able to afford people to get a good prasadam. And we are in COVID time, we can see that we built big, COVID hospitals, and they are collecting funds for giving treatment to the COVID patients. At least we should have bought a lands and produced some grains so that people would have been fed. No, we will purchase the grains. Okay. Okay, Kartikeya Prabhu, another devotee can read it.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Saurabh ji, you can start reading. Contrasting the overall chaos,
Hare Krishna.
overall
Con-
ethos.
Contrasting the overall ethos of current materialistic society with that of pristine Vedic culture, modern civilization is quite different from the Vedic civilization. Vedic civilization means to make a solution of this problem, stop this process of birth, death, old age, and disease. That is Vedic civilization. That is human civilization. And to become a better hog, nicely dressed hog, that is not Vedic civilization. That is hog civilization. Advancement of civilization is estimated not on the growth of mills and factories to deteriorate the finer instincts of the human being, but on developing the potent spiritual instinct of human beings and giving them a chance to go back to Godhead. Development of factories and mills is called Ugra Karma, or pungent activities, and such activities deteriorate the finer sentiments of the human being and thus turn society into a dungeon of demons. The dungeons of the mines, factories, and workshops develop demoniac propensities in the working class. The conception of worldly opulence was formerly based mainly on natural resources such as jewels, marble, silk, ivory, gold, and silver. The advancement of economic development was not based on big motor cars. Of human civilization depends not on industrial enterprises but on possession of natural wealth and natural food, which is all supplied by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we may save time for self-realization and success in the human form of body.
Okay,
Propen-
one second. I just remember something by reading this part. Development of factories and mills is called Ukra Karma or pungent activities, and such activities deteriorate the finer sentiments of the human being Thus turn society into dungeon of demons. The dungeons of mines, factories, and workshops develop demonic propensity working class. I remember Nehru said that the modern 21st century temples are the factories. Does anybody remember that hearing? Many times, even Maharaj also quoted in many, many lectures.
Yes, Prabhu.
He said
He
that
had
Yes,
come to
yes,
he
Prabhuji.
Vrindavan
doesn't.
actually. He had come to Vrindavan and he said that
Mhm.
he didn't visit any temple. And he said this thing. Yeah.
Actually, he was called, Prabhupada said in one lecture or some morning walk, Prabhupada said that he came to open one hospital in, that's a Ramakrishna Mat hospital, actually. I know that. It's a Ramakrishna Mat hospital in Vrindavan. And while he was giving lecture, then he said that 21st century temples are the factories, not the temples per se. So for what? What do you want to make? This is what. So they want to live at the cost of the. Here Prabhupada is writing that the finer sentiments, the finer instincts of the human being are deteriorated, and their money is getting increased. That is what they want. Now people are not working so much in factories. Actually, previously people were working more in factories. Now IT industry, this industry is becoming more. That's why people cannot know that in what precarious condition people now. Now the precarious condition of the people has changed. Actually, it is being shown. Previously, the hellish condition was very visible. I mean to say. When I was small, when I was like, like children and we were kids, at that time the factories were shown like a very big hellish place, and it was really like hell. And Prabhupada also mentioned many, many times. And when I went for the first time to a big factory, the chemical factory, what is that? In Chennai for doing some auditing or something like that, I was also very much surprised. I never saw a factory, a big machinery like that, you know and when Prabhupada's lecture was, I heard Prabhupada's lecture that really it was like a factory, like a hell. Now it is changed. It is slowly, slowly changing now because machineries have become automatic, robotic, and everything. So everything has become, like, no need to do anything. Few labors, that's all. Everything is done by the machines. And now the hellish condition is becoming to persons, to people who are sitting in the AC rooms. They are being confined to hours and hours of sitting, so their bodies are getting deteriorated. No, children are not getting born. Huh? Their children are becoming more and more like a zombies. They are becoming like the zombies. Extramarital affairs between the cubicles, all these hellish conditions are becoming more and more. Uh, you can see people having extramarital affairs. One person's wife is running away with another person's team leader. Another person's husband is running away with another team leader. Another person's. It's like this in Bangalore, in Bombay, in Pune, in big, big cities. It is like that. And there are so many scandal companies. Their only business is to scam people. There are big, big companies in Kolkata, Noida, in Haryana, in UP, in Bihar, in Bengal. They are just built just to use up the monies. Their companies, they are called as BPOs externally, but internally they scam people. They scam in money. They scam UK people, US people, European people to get their money. I don't know whether people know this or not, but this is going on like anything. And they lavishly get loot the money of the people, and they live at the cost of others. Now this is what is going on. Huh? Hare Krishna. It has no end actually. Hmm. Where people are seeing marble, this is all exploitation. Of course, now Aravali is stopped, but actually it was exploited so much for marble. So many tons and tons from the Jaipur hills, everywhere from the stones have been taken and built so many nonsense things. Uh, so many animals are being killed for ivory. So many animals are being killed for teeth, for their skin. For so much for their fashion. Fashion industry is fully on the killing of animals. Uh, everything. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji, please read.
The prosperity of humanity does not depend on a demoniac civilization that has no culture and no knowledge, but has only gigantic skyscrapers and huge automobiles always rushing down the highways. The products of nature are sufficient. When there is profuse supply of milk, yogurt, honey, food grains, ghee, molasses, dhotis, saris, bedding, sitting places, and ornaments, the residents are actually opulent. Now, there is large-scale industrialization, which means exploitation of one man by another. Such industry was unknown in Vedic civilization. It was unnecessary. In addition, modern civilization has taken to slaughtering and eating animals, which is barbarous. It is not even human. Human life is never meant for sense gratification but for self realization. Human life is simply meant for self realization. The civilization which aims at this utmost perfection never indulges in creating unwanted things, and such a perfect civilization prepares man only to accept the bare necessities of life or to follow the principle of the best use of a bad bargain. Our material bodies and our lives in that connection are bad bargains because the living entity is actually spirit, and spiritual advancement of the living entity is absolutely necessary. Human life is intended for the realization of this important factor, and one should act accordingly, accepting only the bare necessities of life and depending more on God's gift without diversion of human energy for any other purpose, such as being mad for material enjoyment. In the modern civilization, especially, they are being trained to work very hard to get strength, eat meat, to digest meat, drink wine, and then become infuriated and work very hard. This is the modern type of civilization. But Vedic civilization is different. Vedic civilization is not meant for working so hard. Not only do regulated rains help ample production of grains and fruits, but when they combine with astronomical influences, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. Grains and vegetables can sumptuously feed a man and animals, and a fatty cow delivers enough milk to supply a man sumptuously with vigor and vitality. If there is enough milk, enough grain, enough fruit, enough cotton, enough silk, and enough jewels, then why do people need economic development in the shape of tools and machines? Can tools and machines supply vigor and vitality to man and animals? Can machinery produce grain, fruit, and milk, or jewels and silk? Are jewels and silk, along with varieties of foodstuff prepared with ghee, grain, milk, and fruits, not sufficient for man's pure, luxurious, and healthy life? Then what is the need of an artificial, luxurious life of cinemas, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels? Has this civilization produced anything more than the doggish mentality of quarreling individually and nationally? Has this civilization enhanced the cause of equality and fraternity by sending thousands of men into a hellish factory and the war fields at the whims of a particular man? Human civilization should depend on the production of material nature without artificially attempting economic development to turn the world into a chaos of artificial greed and love of power only for the purpose of artificial luxuries and sense gratification.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, we'll request some of the devotees to read. Actually, uh, here, here, actually, I don't know, many devotees didn't see that movie called Narsimha and all, which our devotees were promoting, some leaders were promoting. Prabhupada is very clearly writing what is the need of artificial, luxurious life of cinema, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels. Mm. We may say that we want to engage, we want to use that particular thing also in Krishna's service, doing cinema, do that. But it's so much of unnecessary endeavor, crores and crores and crores and crores of money is invested in, and so many people's hard labor is being put into that, and hardly anybody changes, hardly anybody has any effect in their heart change or cleansing of the heart, or nor is there any उसक्या बोलते हैं ठोस ठोस मजबूत कुछ रिजल्ट आता है. It's just another kind of entertainment, and that's all. People after entertainment, and if you give them some so-called Hindu Bindu hodgepodge, focus, focus, ugly black leg entertainment, claptrap entertainment, then they are happy. That's all. They're not interested in ISKCON. They're not interested in Bhagavatam or something like that. Uh, Rather, it is actually a deviation from the main thing. Main course is people should be encouraged to chant the holy name of the Lord. People should be encouraged to come to the temples, dedicate their life. People should be encouraged to give their life for Krishna. Understand who is He, who we are, why we are here, what is the real goal of life, who is God. This is not being inspired and just taking cinemas, just taking, nobody is doing that. No, but very few people are trying to do this. But why? Why? This cinema, why? So nothing can be done. That's why. Okay, Atindriya Prabhu, you can start reading.
Yes, Prabhuji. Bluntly stating, I don't like industrialism. Srila Prabhupada denoted factory as another name for hell and analyzed that industry is the cause of fall down of the human society. Adding that industrialization means to bring the people more and more away from God consciousness. Indeed, Srila Prabhupada questioned the whole basis of industrial civilization. Why should there be industry? You want to eat after all. Instead of eating this flesh, killing poor animals, why don't you produce food grains, fruits, flowers, and take milk from the animals and produce milk products, all nutritious food, all nice food, and be happy and remember God for His kindness. Instead of starting industries, why don't you produce food stuff? What is the civilization? In
One
contrast,
second.
this is
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually,
this is
if one understands this
yes.
particular thing, this whole purport, then it is very good. Actually, here in United States, I saw some people from Haryana, Punjab, and all. I asked them, "Why are you here? You have lands, you have." Yeah, we are here for money, and they are, each and everybody guy was smoking e-cigar. They don't smoke cigarettes directly. There is e-cigar. E-cigar means there is a battery operated thing which will give the same kick as cigarette. That is wipers, or what is it called? I don't know. I don't know what is that name. I forgot that name. They were all running. They were all working in Ubers. They are all having cars. At least 4 or 5 people. They are such a hefty fellows. They are here. They are illegally. Actually, they came through donkey route. And
Yeah.
I was surprised, you know, all these people are there. And why don't they produce food grains, fruits, flowers? Even our devotees, all these devotees, our devotees are reading every day in Prabhupada's purports, all these things. Why should there be industry? We are not producing anything. Our devotees are working so hard in the factories and software companies. Why not produce? They are not being trained from their childhood, from coming to ISKCON. Okay, at one point of time, you have to give up your job and produce your own food. They're not being trained. You have to earn money. You have to do your financial adjustment. Invest there, invest here. What investment? Oh, if the whole country's economy collapses, where will you get the money? Huh? Rather, if you produce fruits, flowers, vegetables in your some at least some land somewhere in your hometown, go and then produce something, then you will be saved. Otherwise, nobody will save. What do you think, devotees? Am I right or not?
Yes, boy, absolutely right.
Yes, Prabhupada is telling what we are right. We are only repeating what Prabhupada is saying, but we are not seeing that. So that's why we are stressing more and more about this. Uh, why people are not living flesh, animal cleaning? Because they don't have proper food grains, fruits. And they think that they are very costly. Animals are very cheap, And fish क्या होता है? Bengal में fish ऐसे ही मिलता है. Just take from the water, fry it and eat it. That's all. What is the big? You don't need any food. People will come to that stage that even if they don't have grains, it's no problem. There are so many animals, we will eat. That is what is the stage going to come. Yes, Prabhu, continue.
In
In
contrast,
contrast,
this is Vedic civilization. People living simply on agriculture and cow protection. If you have enough milk, grains, fruits, and vegetables, you can live very nicely. A real advancement of civilization is when there is so much butter and yogurt that you can give it to the monkeys. Perceiving that agriculture is the noblest profession, it makes society happy, wealthy, healthy, honest, and spiritually advanced for a better life after death. God's gifted professions for mankind are agriculture and cow protection. Srila Prabhupada recommended nobody should take to very hard labor. The modern civilization has discovered severe types of dangerous industries, and laborers are attracted for high wages, but they should not accept such work. Then naturally there will be less capitalistic ideas because the laborer cooperates, demonic persons take advantage and unnecessarily increase artificial demands of the body. Better to be satisfied with agricultural produce than going to large cities to be engaged in industry. Peaceful life depending on agricultural produce can bring real happiness and prosperity, not otherwise. The more people are satisfied with home economics, not to go outside the home, the more that is peaceful life. In India, Mahatma Gandhi tried to organize villages in that way so as to not drag people to the town. A peaceful atmosphere can be attained only when there is large scale village organization, actual village life, not to bring city ideas into village life.
I remember in 2013, I think, the first time when I went to Hyderabad for book distribution, I distributed my first Bhagavatam set to a person, and not first means in that area, first Bhagavatam set to a person who is working in e-seva, because in Andhra Pradesh it was Andhra Pradesh, the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh into were one state, and Hyderabad was the capital at that time. So we were distributing books in Hyderabad. I remember I distributed the first Bhagavatam set to one person, Telugu guy. He's from Nellore, and he was working in e-seva. And after 15 days, we gave the Bhagavatam set. He gave immediately the Lakshmi to me. And he was so happy to receive the Bhagavatam set. We went shop to shop and we did, and there is e-seva. I don't know whether anybody knows in Hyderabad or in the Andhra Pradesh, they have e-seva Kendra, where e-seva means all the bills, everybody, they collected at one point of time, Aadhaar card, everything. You need not run around where to pay the bills. At one place, they have electronic seva kendras. So it's It's
Yes.
a very move by Chandrababu Naidu, and it is a long back he did even before other states have got. So the main what I was thinking is that what I was trying to say is that this guy, after 15 days, again I went to call for the for our programs which we're doing, and after 15 days he told me that he's just in his 30s. He has three kids, and he said that I don't want my kids. He didn't read Bhagavatam at that time. He just started little bit. I don't want my kids to slog like me in the cities. He said to me. His realization is he doesn't want his kids to slog in this city life. I am going to my Nellore and I am going to produce grains and have some cows, and I am going to lead my life like that. And till now I am having contact with him, and he is very nicely happily living in his village, having cows. At that time in 2014, at that time I understood, oh, actually he really understood what should be done. you know for actually people used to be bought from villages to the cities, and this guy from villages, his city is going to the village, and he understood at that time. And now even I'm having his contact, he's speaking to me, he's having so many cows, he's increased his production, and he is very happily living in his village near Vednallur. So it is like that. So these people are doing it practically. It's not that it is just being told. I remember there is one guy in United States. He got he was in United States. He's from India. He's from Tamil Nadu. He got into problems because of his daughter got into problems because of health problems, because of food poisoning, which happened when in United States. Immediately he took a big decision to go for organic farming. In now he's a very big guy in Tirunelveli, Theni, that side. He is a very big organic farmer, and he produces, he sells also. I mean, he got that inspiration from there. And there are so many. There is one Charlotte Koshala here. There is one Tamil Telugu Brahmin person. He purchased 10, 15, 20 hectares of land over here over a period of time. And his children, everybody, they are in the homestead, they have their farm. He is a Purohit actually. He came to United States long back. His kids are there. He is already a green card and holder, but he's having a big farm over here in this one. He understood that this is going to problem, and he purchased a big land long back through his savings. In United States, either you are a rich by having properties from your forefathers, or you are rich because you save so much of money. So he is rich like that. He saved so much of money and he purchased. Here land is somewhat in cheap in one sense. You can go to the long back somewhere in the middle of Tennessee, middle of Florida, middle of everywhere. You can, so fertile. You can get a very nice this one. Cows are available. Everything you can do it. Actually, devotees in United States should do it. Devotees in India also should do it. Actually, individually they should do it. They could go to their villages, just start something, do something. Everything Krishna will provide. But who will give that inspiration and confidence with them? That is the question actually. And now, because being rampage with so many years of working in the cities, people don't have sufficient money, because now the land prices are so high, they cannot afford to get lands also. So we should have done long back. Now, din pratidin, it is becoming more and more tough for even for devotees to get lands, even if they want to live. Okay, Prabhuji, Atendra Prabhu, thank you very much.
Yes, Guruji, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Shyam Sarup Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, sometimes I speak for a long time.
Simple living and high thinking, self-sufficient farms. Stating, we do not very much appreciate city life, which is full of so many obnoxious things. Srila Prabhupada proposed an alternative, self-sufficient mode of living. Simple living, high thinking, with Krishna in the center. Human life is meant for plain living and high thinking, for which rural agrarian communities are ideal, as distinguished from the always artificial modern civilization. The basic principle is to become independent of artificial city life, working in factories, producing nuts and bolts.
One thing I remember now, Prabhupada is stating that the basic principle is to become independent of artificial city life, working in factories, producing nuts and bolts. And Prabhupada is writing that artificial life. Can you imagine? Can you guess something over here? Prabhupada is saying that modern city life is artificial life, and now they are bringing artificial intelligence into it. They are making some more artificial. Already we are artificial in the city, and they are bringing AI. All the devotees now, if they want to get AI. So the thing is, already city life is artificial. Already they're having so much of nuts and bolts everywhere. Everywhere is artificial. No, even I don't know. Even I'm sorry to say like this, in the United States for decorating, you can't get flowers. It is very difficult to get flowers. So they purchase plastic flowers. Every type of plastic flower is available, whatever you want, and they decorate everywhere. It decorate. I was just surprised. Such a beautiful flowers. I caught it. I catch hold of it, and I'm seeing these are all plastic flowers. Everywhere there is plastic flowers. Even in India, it is happening. It's all artificial. And now we are brought artificial intelligence into it. Oh, what an advancement of civilization. And we want to use AI in Krishna's service. Oh, Krishna, what is going to happen? I'm just surprised. Why? Actually, I wanted to hear devotees saying, we don't want artificial intelligence. We want real intelligence. We want real intelligence. We want real food, real fruits, real vegetables, real grains. Huh? There is plastic rice. There's so much of rubberized kind of fruits. There is so much of so much of the plastic kind of layer with everything on every fruit. Oh, it's all artificial intelligence. AI is producing fruits. AI is producing, but AI cannot digest your food. AI cannot digest your food. Everybody is mammored. Oh, Prabhuji, why don't you do AI video for us? AI video. But AI cannot do so many things. AI cannot eat your food. You have to eat. AI cannot digest your food. AI cannot produce excreta, stool. That you have to do it. That can come naturally. If you eat nuts and bolts, you can't eat Goodyear tires. Prabhupada said, you can't eat Goodyear tire. Prabhupada said, you need Anna in Hyderabad. Okay, Prabhuji, read.
Yeah. This project should be advanced, plain living, high thinking. This is a nasty civilization, unnecessarily increasing necessities of life. Anartha. According to Brahminical culture, one should be content with whatever he obtains without special endeavor and should cultivate spiritual consciousness. Then he will be happy. The purpose of the Krishna the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement is to spread this understanding, often emphasizing natural living. Srila Prabhupada pointed out the results of over accumulation. According to nature's arrangement, living entities lower on the evolutionary scale do not eat or collect more than necessary. Consequently, in the animal kingdom, there is generally no economic problem or scarcity of necessities. If a bag of rice is placed in a public place, if a bag of rice is placed in a public place, birds will come to eat a few grains and go away. A human being, however, will take away the whole bag. He will eat all his stomach can hold and then try to keep the rest in storage. According to the scriptures, this collecting of more than necessary, atyahara, is prohibited. Now the entire world is suffering because of it.
Is it right?
Yeah. Telling them to live in the lap of material nature and depend upon Krishna, Srila Prabhupada encouraged his disciples to establish devotional farm projects to give practical shape to what he had been discussing for years, even before his arrival in America. I am very glad to hear about your new farm ashrama. We want to develop many such farms all over the world. Whenever we get some land, we should take the opportunity to develop it into an ideal community as envisioned for New Vrindavana. So, as you say that your land is very suitable for cow protection and for tulasi to grow, then Krishna is giving you the opportunity to develop the program. Protect some cows, grow crops, and if possible, provide fresh milk and butter for the temples nearby. Come here, live peacefully, keep your body fit, and work for yourself. Produce your own food, produce your own cloth. Don't be anxious for artificial necessities. Save time and be advanced in spiritual life.
Okay, once again, there is
Hmm.
a point over here. Mm, yeah, whenever we got some land, we should take the opportunity to develop it into ideal community as envisioned for New Vrindavan. Actually, nowadays, a particular letter is being circulated among the devotees that Prabhupada wanted 7 temples in New Vrindavan. Do you know that? There is a letter to Hayagriva Prabhu. Prabhupada wrote. And they have done it. They are doing it. They have done in one particular eco village, they done 7 temples they built. But more important is that they wanted to develop a farm community. But that is not being promoted very nicely. 7 temples we will build so that we will get a lot of Lakshmi. Can you imagine? Do you know? Can you imagine this particular thing the duplicitous nature of the people? They want to build 7 temples. Wrote Prabhupada has written this. Prabhupada has wrote that we want 7 temples in New Vrindavan. Prabhupada wanted all the temples in Vrindavan, wanted in New Vrindavan. That they want to build because if money आएगा ना, क्या बोलते हैं, शालिग्राम शिला को मार के वो ऐसा एक कहावत है. I don't know. Prabhupada used to say that. For breaking the coconuts. We want to do that because we'll get a lot of money. But on the other side, for developing farms in such a way that there will be sufficient grain, sufficient food, and all the devotees were working so hard in the cities, bringing them not to work in the cities, work hard for them. That is not being promoted. This what I thought. This is they had envisioned for New Vrindavan Prabhupada so much, but they are only taking one part and not ignoring the other part. Yeah.
Getting and managing a farm is a good proposal. I am encouraging farm projects everywhere. That is a very important, solid program. So do this enthusiastically, and Krishna will be pleased. Srila Prabhupada wanted hundreds of such farms to invite all the world to live with us. We can have hundreds of new Vrindavanas or farms like that, and people will be people will be happy. Invite all the world. Please come and live with us. Why are you suffering congestion, overpopulation? Welcome here. Chant Hare Krishna. Emphasizing that our farm projects are an extremely important part of our movement, Srila Prabhupada continued. We must become self sufficient by growing our own grains and producing our own milk. Then there will be no question of poverty. So, develop these farm communities as far as possible. They should be developed as an ideal society depending on natural products, not industry. Industry has simply created godlessness because they think they can manufacture everything that they need. Our Bhagavad Gita philosophy explains that man and animals must have food in order to maintain in order to maintain their bodies. And the production of food is dependent on the rain. And of course, the rain is dependent on chanting Hare Krishna. Therefore, let everyone chant Hare Krishna, eat nicely, and keep their bodies fit and healthy. This is ideal lifestyle. This program solves all economic problems. Simple living and high thinking is the solution to economic problems. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is engaging devotees in producing their own food and living self sufficiently so that rascals may see how one can live very peacefully, eat the food grains one has grown oneself, drink milk, and chant Hare Krishna. This is the solution of economic problems. Annad Bhavanti Bhutani, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 14. Therefore, we are trying to engage our men to produce their own food. One requires a little land and a few cows. Then the whole economic problem is solved. We should utilize our time for elevating ourselves in Krishna consciousness instead of so called economic development. If we are satisfied with plain living with minimum time and the balanced time is engaged for elevating our Krishna conscious program, then every man can be transferred to Goloka Vrindavana in this very life. Modern civilization has encumbered the mode of living, and people are engaged all the time in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. Krishna will supply profusely. The whole economic question becomes solved. By Krishna's grace, if we become dharmic by following Krishna, the milk supply will be so profuse that everyone, even the animals, can take butter and yogurt. That is wanted. That is civilization. Produce sufficient quantity of grains. Let the cows supply sufficient milk. All economic questions solved. There is no use of industry, no use of man's going 50 miles to work. There is no need. Simply land and cows.
Okay,
Ev-
Prabhu, we'll
Okay,
stop
Prabhu.
here. Mm. Uh, Anything I wanted to say so many things, but I don't want to say because enough is said. Everybody knows what to be done. See, the thing is here, the very important. I never heard like this. Production of is dependent, and the rain is dependent on chanting Hare Krishna. Therefore, let everyone chant Hare Krishna. Eat nicely and keep their bodies fit and healthy. That is ideal life. Mm. Okay, Prabhuji. So we'll meet tomorrow at this time. If devotees have to discuss, they can discuss personally with me or they can speak. Else, we will stop here and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you very much for your patiently hearing. And sorry if I would have told anything wrong. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj ki jai, and the mood and Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shamsaru Prabhu, you wanted to discuss something with me over phone. Can we speak now? Is it okay?
Prabhu, I'll message you later, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you.
Ah,
Hare Krishna.
that's Prabhu.